I'm Drew Breezy, and this is the Comm Center. It's the case that everybody's talking about. Sonya Massey, Grayson, the deputy that everybody says should never have been hired in the first place. We're going to do a deep dive into the whole situation, including all of the 911 calls.
I don't want you guys to hurt her, please.
We're probably not going to say what everybody else is saying, but that shouldn't be a surprise to you either. You know why?
Do we got any call history with her being 1096?
Because we offer expertise with our experience.
I will explain why.
All that and what it means for your weekend on the Comm Center.
In my mind, you can't play it both ways. You know, you're afraid of the police, but you also want us to solve your problems for you.
And she's afraid of them because of Ben Crump.
Address of emergency. Okay, what's going on there?
Well, my daughter is being sporadic, and she's been mentally having a mental breakdown, which is something new to me. She's not a danger to herself. She's not a danger to me. But when she gets upset, then she thinks everybody's after her. Like paranoid schizophrenic. She thinks everybody's after her.
Okay.
She's using diagnosis words already. Go ahead, John.
She is. You can tell that they've probably already had some sort of meeting or whatever. So my first question is, this is 911 dispatcher, and this sounds mean, but I'm just wondering, they're like, what can we do for you today? Are you asking for assistance with an involuntary committal? Do you want us to go down there and physically transport her to the outpatient or inpatient facility? Because why else are you calling law enforcement? Now, we can refer you to another agency, 988-211. These agencies can have resources or lists of mental health things in the community. But the only real reason why you would need a law enforcement officer to even get involved in this is if she needs acute inpatient care and she's not willing to go unless there's something else I'm missing, Drew.
No, I think that it just might be their model. Like, I know that we have taken these calls in the past, and it's just basically what they're saying is like, I'm at my wit's end, and you either give them the advice about how to seek an ex parte order with a judge, or if it's bad enough, you're going to go out to the home and do check the welfare of the person that's in the house. So maybe that's what she was getting at.
What's her name?
Sonya Massey.
Sonya, you said?
I'm just answering the question. Oh, I thought you were talking to me. I'm sorry. Hello. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Her name is Sonya?
Uh-huh.
Okay. And what's your name?
Donna.
Donna, what's your phone number there?
She's out in the front of the house talking so loud that you could probably hear her to the end of the block.
Okay.
She had a car keys in her hand, but they told me, the mental people told me to call 911 because she could get in her car and kill herself or somebody, because she has ran a couple of red lights when she went, and so she's being sporadic, and I don't want you guys to hurt her, please. Don't.
Okay,
please
ma'am, I've got some questions I've got to ask you. Does she have a weapon?
Okay. No.
Okay. Is this a suicide attempt?
No, she won't. She's not going to hurt.
Go for it.
Just going straight to the script at this point, she's rattling off a whole bunch of stuff here about what's going on with Sonya, saying, she's having some manic episode. She's running red lights. She's using the word sporadic somewhat incorrectly, so that I'm not quite sure what she means by that. Sporadically means you're intermittently doing something, like, like you're driving sporadically would mean like you only drive a couple times a month. So I don't know what she means by sporadically, but I get that her behavior is maybe erratic. Her behavior is, that's the word that she means to use. And her mom's concerned that because her behavior is becoming erratic, that she's going to have a negative encounter with law enforcement. However, we don't really have the ability to proactively diffuse those situations. Drew, you said that something about a welfare check coming out there. However, like I said at the beginning of the show, being mentally ill or having a manic episode or behaving erratically, none of these things are against the law. Baker Act in Florida, other places like this where we can confine someone temporarily, put them on a 24-hour, 48-hour, 72-hour hold, is generally only cases of suicide or some kind of harm to others. But if she's mentally ill, all we can do is kind of point them in the right direction, Drew.
Tell me though that you don't have people in your community that know the magic words, and I think the magic words here
Absolutely.
are she's standing out front with her car keys in her hand, and she has the car right there, and she's been running red lights, and so I think that putting myself in the dispatcher's shoes, putting myself in the cop's shoes, like we're gonna have to go talk to this lady. I mean, like because the magic
I
words.
have no doubt that a call for service will need to take place, but some of that is just community policing, right? We go out there, we talk to her, we actually
Right.
see how acute it is. Is she a danger to anyone? We kind of get a feel for the situation.
Get her some help.
We give some moral support to mom. Obviously, mom's dealing. Sonya Massey, by the way, is an adult, and she has her mother calling for her. So, and so in a sense, she's not independent. She has her mother helping to care for her, even though she's 35, 36. I think she's 37. She's 37 years old. Her mother's having to call for her. So she's not completely without supervision in the community. Her mother's somewhat involved in her life. But I'm sure her mother, being she's got to be 60, 70 years old herself at this point, she's probably tired of dealing with it and would like the police to come out and take a situation that has no clear solution and take it off of her shoulders, Drew.
Herself or anyone else.
Okay. Is she alert?
She's alert.
Okay.
Mom.
All right. Ma'am, we're going to get help on the way, okay? If anything changes or she tries to leave, call me back.
Okay, my sister has something to say that she saw that I didn't see. She said, never mind.
Okay.
We got it covered.
Help's on the way.
Thank you. And please don't send no combative policemen that are prejudiced, please.
Oh, my
well,
gosh.
that would be none of them, man. They just do their job, okay?
Oh, they're all fucked up. They're scary. I'm scared of the police. Please,
Okay. There's nothing to be.
I'm upset, Drew. You're going to call the police for help, but now you're going to say, please don't send any prejudice units, don't send any combative or scary units. I don't know if you know this, but as a dispatcher, we actually don't keep track of those details, which police officers have an inherent bias and all this. And I just mentioned some empathy for this one, right? Because she's got to be 60 years old and she's taking care of her daughter's bullshit, but you can tell that my attitude has not changed. But now she's like, oh, I'm afraid of the police officers. Well, in my mind, you can't play it both ways. You're afraid of the police, but you also want us to solve your problems for you. In a sense, this woman's a microcosm for all of America. She wants us to show up and show up in the gap between what's the law, what mental illness problems, lack of services, lack of ability to deal with those, an ever-growing mental health problem in this country. We want the police to come and show up and take care of it, but we don't want these scary, prejudicial, combative police, as if reality worked that way. And not only that, but it's really putting a dispatcher on a spot, and I'm sure the dispatcher was rolling his eyes. I've never taken those exact comments before, but when people express some sort of sentiment about the police, I'm just rolling my eyes because it's like, if you don't like us, then why are you calling us in the first place? Drew, go ahead.
Yeah, she's not necessarily saying that she doesn't like them. She's saying she's afraid of them, and she's afraid of them because of Ben Crump.
That's an excellent point. She's been made to be afraid. Excellent point.
I mean, I get where she's coming from. I understand it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. And let's just play on. I mean, I did this video a long time ago about the German Shepherd and racism. And it's basically, when I was growing up as a paper boy, I was afraid of this German Shepherd on my paper route. And everybody in the entire neighborhood said that this is the friendliest dog, let alone German Shepherd, they'd ever seen. And I'm like, I'm telling you, something with this dog. And sure enough, that dog bit my paper bag. Like if it had been my leg, he would have severed it probably. And I surmised later in life, because I still think about that dog. He was probably beat to hell and back with a newspaper. And so I represented everything he hated about newspapers, but I also projected fear every time I got around him, and bad things happened when I got around him, and I projected fear. If I had just kind of like lived my life and let him live his life, would the dog have bitten my paper bag? But so, I don't want to compare people to dogs, but this is kind of the same thing. It's like if you project this kind of fear, or you put this notion out into the world, and it's not her fault, but if you put this notion out into the world, look how it came back. So, we'll continue to play the call, but
I will say though that this is just perfect, right? Just like the police officer using the F word and saying "I'm going to shoot you." In retrospect, it colors everything badly, and now in retrospect, in the lawsuits that are going to come out of this tape is going to get plenty of play in front of a jury. Don't send anyone who's combative or prejudicial. Go ahead.
Don't worry about it; it'll never make it to it.
Be fearful of, man.
Thank you.
You're welcome. There's nothing to be fearful of, man.
Like we're gonna.
You're welcome.
We're gonna eat those words. Now you have nothing to be fearful of, man. I mean that added an extra, and I hate to put a monetary value because her life is worth, there's no value on her life, but that just added like $5 million to the award easily. Just that phrase.
Sometimes they make the shit worse.
Okay. Helps on the way.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Bye.
So here's the call detail report for that call. And it says that the officer that responded out there spoke with Sonya, and Sonya advised that she did not want to speak with any medical professionals or seek treatment at that time. The complainant, her mom, advised that Sonya was not suicidal or homicidal. Sonya also spoke with EMTs on scene and MBH, which is a health organization, who both cleared Sonya. That's what the call for service is. That's how they concluded that call for service.
Oh. Come here. Come here. Because when I get you, I'm going to kill you. Okay? You did this. Yeah, you did.
Do you hear the pounding? If you don't know, they discovered broken windows on her car. But do you hear the pounding in the call?
There's a lot of noise in there that I can't really make out. I hear threatening statements. Is she talking to her mother, or who is she talking to?
No, and I'm saying that this is presumably Sonya Massey. I think it came from her neighborhood. I'm pretty sure it came from her phone, but they have redacted it. So you can't say definitively, and they're not saying definitively as part of the investigation, I guess.
No, but they are releasing it, so you have to.
Yeah. So it's either Sonya's neighbor or it's Sonya. It's somebody from that neighborhood right there. So it's a confrontation involving Sonya Massey. You can easily infer, but you can hear the pounding of that car. There's some kind of pounding going on.
And when I get in, I'm going to kill you, bitch. Bitch, you know where my teeth is, bitch. You, bitch. I'm going to get you. Bitch. Wait, bitch. Wait, bitch. You wait, bitch. Wait, bitch. Yep. You knew that my people was out here, didn't you? You didn't know that my people was out here? Huh?
This goes on for a little bit, but it lends to the paranoid delusion, and that's why I left it in. It also lends to her frame of mind at that moment. Go ahead.
She's belligerent, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Confrontational. She's not the meek, mild-mannered person that they dealt with. Obviously, she can turn, but I don't know that they know this.
Where'd she go? Where did that girl go who bust my window? Cuz. Yeah. She busted my window. Right now? I don't know, but she needs to be found. Where's she at? She running around. Why she just bust my window? Shana. Where's she at? She running around here. I'm gonna say she busted it. I ain't busted shit, bitch. You did. How?
She said, I finna say you busted it. I ain't bust shit. You did. So she's already talking about whoever she's talking to. She's saying she's setting up the other person.
Play a little game, bitch.
All right. John, as a call taker, why do we have this information?
I was gonna say first of all, this is amazing. I'm just analyzing like how long this call is open for. It looks like you've got 20 minutes left on this video, and this whole time you'll notice that there's no 911 operator saying hello, 911, what's going on here? Because we know, particularly if we've got a call history where if this is indeed Sonya Massey's phone number, we know that she's an unstable person. We know that we have all kinds of issues here. But a 911 phone call, we know to passively gather intelligence, to let people ramble on, to listen to things, to hear them make statements against interest on a recorded line. It could be some of the best ways to gather intelligence about a situation that just occurred or that is going to occur. And I have had some very, very, very long 911 phone calls that had nothing on them. But this case obviously has something.
Hello?
Central Dispatch.
Yeah. It's, yeah.
Okay, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Can you speak up?
No.
Okay, I can't understand what street.
Hoover.
Hoover?
Ow. Yes.
You said Hoover?
Yes.
Okay, what is the problem?
Man, you guys. Someone come over here and get this girl.
Sorry, what is the problem?
This girl hit me with a brick. Let me take her.
Okay.
Hurting real bad. She's sitting. No, hold on. Hold on.
Okay, and why did your neighbor hit you with a brick?
Well, come find out, cause y'all, I can't tell you when I'm hurting real bad. And I go to the. Hold on now, cause it's crazy, but.
What is your name?
This, cause y'all come. I can't do it right now, man. I'm sorry.
Okay. What is your name?
Right address. I can't. I don't know hers. That's the only.
What is your name?
Go.
Dispatch knows she's full of shit, and it's so annoying when you ask a basic question 4 times and they can't answer. Okay?
Ooh,
You don't know her name. You don't know what happened. You can't talk about it right now. Can you just tell me your name? Can you at least tell me who I'm talking to? Drew, go ahead.
That definitely comes into play later too. But yeah, you're hitting on all the key points. All right, so you can see that it made it into a call for service, but it also says this might even be the call for service. Per SPD, she has talked with Mobile Crisis 3 times in the past 2 weeks. So Springfield PD shared that information with them about Sonya Massey. So here's an open 911 call, 9:26 in the evening.
911, what's the address for your emergency? Hello, 911. Hello, 911.
I'm cool.
Hello, 911. Hello.
Is that not the most typical 911 call you've ever heard?
It is. And the reason why the dispatcher this time is going hello is because she's not hearing anything overtly problematic or criminal. She just wants to close out the call. She thinks it's just a straight ass style. But I can't help but notice, Drew, that like this is all happening on the same day. This is all July 5.
Yeah.
We'll see a call history with an open line call. We'll see this person's called multiple times in a day. We'll see that they're just very bad at managing their phone. They're irresponsible. If we're seeing these other notes about how the mobile crisis team has responded to this, it paints a picture of a person right away. Anybody that has repeated calls to 911, anyone that has repeated contacts with law enforcement, we're dealing with basically two types of people. And one type of person is a criminal person, and the other type is someone who's very, very mentally ill.
Yep.
Or
Exactly.
both. You get both too.
Or both. I think that was it, but they called back.
Well, I guess they don't pick up.
Hello, 911.
Hello?
This is 911. We received a call from this number.
Hello?
Do you have an emergency?
Yes, I do.
What's going on there?
Somebody's trying to hurt me.
Who's trying to hurt you?
A lot of them.
Who?
Well, never mind. Must not be the right number.
That's not what I said.
She's full of shit.
911, what's the address for your emergency?
So I don't know if this is the same dispatcher or not, but this is Prowler call number 1.
2868 South Hoover Avenue.
What's going on there?
I keep hearing stuff on the outside of my house, and it sounds like somebody was banging on the side of my house. I don't know. Oh, could y'all come and see?
And can you confirm
outside
the
my
address
house.
for me?
It is 2868 South Hoover Avenue.
What is your name?
Sonya Massey.
And your phone number?
I don't know the number by heart, but I know that somebody's outside my house right now.
Okay. Have you seen the person?
Another red flag is them not knowing their own phone number.
So I sped up the first body cam, the initial body cam of the initial responding officer. Sean Grayson's the backup officer from what I gather. And this is the initial officer going out, checking all through her yard. They're doing a very thorough job, in my opinion. This brought back memories of, thinking of, just thinking, how many strangers' yards did I walk through at 1 a.m. with a flashlight, looking for a ghost or whatever, looking for, whatever. So you can hear fireworks still going off. It's July 5th. Go ahead.
And they checked this before making contact with her, right?
Yeah. So the Prowler, there's a Prowler call. Normally, John, I would arrive, but I'd tell you, hey, make sure you call a complainant back and let them know that it's me walking around the house. John Grayson, who's the initial responding deputy, I guess he checked yards in the neighborhood. This deputy checked her specific yard, finds her car on the side of the house first.
Oh, shit.
So now they're like, okay, maybe something to this. They're not aware of the other calls. So I want to point out a couple things. First, the parking. He is, I don't believe that's his car that we just looked at. I think that's Grayson's car. I think Grayson had the SUV, and because I think this guy drives a Taurus, he parked in a tactical position a couple doors down. Grayson just pulled up right in front of the house. It's just kind of like, and I don't want to mind read here, but it's almost kind of like, this is a bunch of bullshit. I'll park right here. Nothing's going to happen. It's not where I would have parked for a Prowler. Let's look at the demeanor and all of this of this guy. Okay, almost 1 o'clock in the morning. Tap, 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 tap. Hits the Ring doorbell. Ding dong. Reaches down and holds the storm door open with the door catch. Now you see Grayson approach.
There's a bike sitting back there. Where? On the back door. I don't know if it's hers. I'll tap it.
I'm telling you right now, that pissed me off.
Totally different approach, though. Explains the difference between the two officers, doesn't it?
Yes. I mean, this guy's got it under control. He's knocking on the door. He's ringing the doorbell. And here comes, Mr. Buff deputy with his tight shirts and his fucking Lululemon pants, and he's like, don't love tap it. Like, how about this? Back the fuck up. Don't tell me what to do. Like, this is how I want to handle it. You don't need to be aggressive. Just relax. It's a sign that he doesn't really want to be there.
I was going to say that exact thing.
Yeah, he even makes a little joke. Search warrant. Yeah, I mean, it's funny. I get it, but that's
How many times has he made that joke though? Pounding with his fist and then saying that.
right.
319 contact her, so someone threw a brick to her. Call her. You want to try and call her 17 back here and let her know we're out front?
It can all be handled through a very gentle phone call from the communication center. Like, hey, do me a favor, call her back, tell her we're out here. But what's Grayson do?
Yes, mess that up good. I hear the phone ringing.
Can't we just be patient here? I mean,
I hear her phone ringing indicates they're calling her. Just chill out.
You didn't see anybody out walking that way with you? No, not when I came in. I didn't see anybody that way. I hear her phone ringing and she's refusing to come to the door, so we're about to go 10 a.m.
All right, look.
Now, Drew, now they can just leave, right? I mean, they don't have to do anything from here, right? Like they found that there's no prowler. The prowler call is unfounded. If she doesn't want to answer the door, she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to answer the phone. I mean, it's not even necessarily indicative that she's in danger, right? I mean, can't we just leave?
We can until the next morning when her mother goes over there and finds her zip tied and dead in the bedroom.
Well, I know, but you can't presume that on every call. Well, you can't just say, well, what if she's zip tied?
You can't presume it. You also have to understand she called saying there's a prowler. You couldn't get a hold of her, and you just left. That's how it's going to be framed. So you've got to do just a little bit of extra digging. Just make 100% sure that she's okay. Unless she's dead in there.
Let's hope not. Is this a ring doorbell? Yeah, it doesn't work though.
Ding dong, ding dong.
Sheriff's office. Two houses down, I think. Oh no, it's right here.
They make sure that there's the right address, Drew.
Yeah, that's another thing to think about because that other one we did.
Go ahead.
You know, it may seem like I left a lot of superfluous stuff in here, but you'll see it all. There's a reason for all of it.
She was yawning inside. Just told us to hold on. You come in the door or not?
Oh.
All right. Hurry up.
Oh. Mr. Community Service there, hurry up. Where do you got to be at 1 a.m? I mean, if you got calls stacked, I understand. But other than that.
The epitome of professionalism. And you know, you'll see, I think some of that is an act. Like, I think some of that is just like, he's a smart ass. He's funny. He's like just trying to be wacky or whatever. And some of it's he's a dick. And it's hard to tell the difference between the two sometimes, but you'll see he'll have moments of like compassion, but generally he's rude.
Sheriff's office, the one you called.
The one you called.
Why would it hurt you? You called us.
Okay,
So what'd you hear?
somebody keeps outside my house, y'all.
Is this your car over here?
Please, God, please, God, please.
Is this your car over here?
Please don't hurt me is the first thing she said.
Oh,
Please, God.
that's not your black car in the driveway?
Mm-mm,
Oh, well, we checked your yard. We walked around the whole block. We didn't see anybody.
mm-mm.
Right? You know, we don't. I mean, we checked the whole area. There's nobody out walking around.
I know, y'all. Please, God, please, God. I'm trying to get help, y'all, but
What do you need help with?
nothing. I just, please, God, please, God, please. I don't know what to do.
Do with what?
Huh?
What do you need help with?
Nothing. I just wanted to see if I could help me.
What do you want help with?
Huh?
What do you want help with?
I heard somebody outside.
Yeah, we checked your house. We checked your backyard. I walked all the way through all these backyards. We checked your front yard.
We didn't see nobody.
Yeah,
So.
nobody's out here.
You didn't see anybody?
Nope.
Nope.
Oh,
We checked the whole area.
okay.
What took you so long to answer the door?
Oh, I was trying to put on some clothes, sir. I'm sorry. I was trying to get
I
dressed.
gotcha.
I'm
All right.
sorry.
Is there anything else we can do for you?
Huh?
Is there anything else I can do for you?
No, sir.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
You doing all right mentally?
Yes.
Sure.
Oh, yeah.
Just leave when you can leave. Just leave. The whole time he wants to leave. When she says, "Is there anything else I can do for you?" And she says, "No." 10-8.
Anything else we can do for you?
Are
No.
you okay mentally with your health wise?
It gets a little worse.
All right. Okay.
I love y'all. Thank y'all.
All right. That's not
I love y'all. Thank y'all. All right. Let us know.
your black car though.
That's not your black car, though, is it? Like,
This
well,
is
I'm
not
gonna
a
ask you
property
first.
damage call. That car could have been damaged a week ago. I don't know why he's
That's-
investigating that.
I'm going to ask you a third time.
Whose is it? You don't know? Someone just parked it in your driveway?
They brought it to my driveway.
And just left it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, let's run that.
Yeah.
So he's going to go over and get the tag. Now, this is where I'm saying, like, they detect that something is a little off about her. They know
Okay,
something's
yeah,
not
but
right.
she's safe though.
She is safe. And there is no prowler, and that was the initial complaint, that there are people outside her house. And
She had an opportunity to leave. If there was someone in the house, she could have come outside. They could have asked her, "Is there someone else?" You know, and if she said, "Can I go with you?" or something, there's someone else inside. They could have asked all these things.
or she also had the opportunity to say, well, what I need help with is I think there are people outside, and you come here and you find out there are no people outside. I'm a little crazy right now.
Well, I'm just glad that at no point are they ever going to enter the house. It's just so clear to me that there's no reason to go in there.
Quite the
David
first.
Mary 43556.
You got a name? You got an ID or something? Take your name real quick. Attach this. See who we spoke to.
So he's following up on a procedural thing. He's saying, can we get a name real quick so we can say who we spoke to? But what he's actually doing is making sure that whoever she is matches whoever comes back to that tag. So now they're trying to put together that is her car. You know what I mean? It's a little investigative step.
They also want to know if the car was involved in a felony or something, if it's stolen
Sure.
or whatever.
Simple.
Oh no.
Why? Don't go in there. There's bed bugs in there.
That is the mental health people calling.
Department here, but I was calling for help from y'all. They're here in my house right now.
Okay, I'll let you go so you can talk to them.
No, hold on, wait a second, sir.
You can hang up, Cotton. That's good.
For what? You're there with the deputy, correct?
No, hold on, okay?
You got two of them. You've got one deputy and the guy on the phone from the mental health place saying, we're going to hang up. You got the deputies there. You got her saying, no, don't hang up, because she doesn't trust these guys.
Why she let him in the house?
I don't know. And I'll point something out in a second here too.
Just 1 second, okay?
So remember, he initiated this because he's asking her for her ID.
What's up?
I got some paperwork. Can you grab that Bible, please?
Yeah. Hey, I just need your name so we can get out of here. Was there any damage previous to your car?
Previous, yeah, it
Okay,
was.
what was the damage?
A dent, I believe.
What about windows?
Oh, it was something that happened earlier.
Okay, perfect. What is?
Okay, perfect. Have a good night.
Well, you know, I don't think that they checked the address history on here, but this whole thing about the, you know, getting hit by the brick and the damage to the vehicle and the smashing earlier, is he trying to make some sort of like bringing home the case against her for criminal property damage at this point? Because it's really not that important right now, is it?
I think what he's trying to do is eliminate the fact that there were prowlers around her house and they smashed her car window, because she says very specifically, no, that's old damage. And he's like, okay, perfect. In other words, now you've said the magic words, but he's still going to push her for the ID.
What's your last name? Shouldn't have to think about your last name. You're not in trouble. I just need to text.
Massey.
Huh?
Massey.
Yeah. You have an ID? That'd make things so much easier.
All right, I get why he did that. Like he said, "What's your last name?" And she goes, and he goes,
she doesn't know
about your last name. And I get that. Like I'm fine with that. And then he's like, I'll tell you what, do you have an ID? This would be a lot like we could take care of this a lot easier if you just
look at it.
But this is where it all goes down. Yeah. And all right, hold on.
I just need just driver's license will do, and then I'll get out of your hair.
I want to show y'all my paperwork.
I will get your paperwork.
What paperwork?
I got some paperwork.
Well, just get your ID real
Well, let's
quick.
get your ID first, and then
one task at a time here.
Okay. Let me
Here, grab your ID for me.
Okay.
Your ID. One task at a time. So let's do an ID, and then you can.
And then we will get the hell out of here.
I don't know where my ID is.
you sit in that stack right there, maybe.
1 second.
Okay, so he points to the stove. Now, they're real adamant. Like Sean is, I think, trying to keep everything on track. He's like one task at a time, which is also a verbal signal to the partner. Hey, stop confusing her. Stop asking questions about stacks of papers, and let's just get her name and so we can get out of here. But then he points to the kitchen, and she gets up.
We don't need a fire while we're here.
We don't need a fire while we're here. She goes over to the stove, grabs a red pot holder and a white pot holder. So they're laughing, all of them. He says, ah, ha, ha, ha. And he jumps out of the way. The backup deputy jumps out of the way. She said, why are you moving?
Huh?
Where you going?
Away from your hot
Where are you going?
steaming water.
Away from my hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I would rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
Huh?
Rebuke you in the name of
You better fucking not. I swear to God, I'll fucking shoot you right in your fucking face.
Leave.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the fucking pot! Drop the fucking pot! Drop the fucking pot!
19 shots fired.
Shots fired! Shots fired! Drop the fucking pot! Bring EMS now. We got a headshot wound to the female. Headshot wound to the female. 1078.
Well, that took a turn.
That really escalated quickly.
It did. So there are some that say that she just raised that pot, that there was no threat to him whatsoever, and blah blah blah. That's not true. She did throw the boiling water at them. Just like
I also need to address this too.
Yeah, go for it.
Because when I worked inside the prison, there's this thing called a stinger where you take any electrical appliance and you cut the cord off of it. You put that into any kind of receptacle that has water in it. It's going to boil the water. So inmates are capable of boiling water. They threw it onto the face of a correctional officer. I have seen an officer be hit in the face with boiling water, and it severely injured him, and he was not at work for months and months and months and months. So the injuries that you can sustain having boiling water thrown on you is severe. I have seen it. Drew.
I'm all about it. I get it. It's in the and this is where people in the general public err, because they don't understand this, that it is the threshold for use of deadly force in a case like this would be
serious injury.
Yeah, serious bodily injury, which would be permanent disfigurement or death.
He could lose an eye this way.
If there is the threat of great bodily harm or death to yourself or someone else, you can use up to deadly force. Now, there are also judgments, and in my judgment, and I wasn't there. I like there was nobody throwing hot boiling water at me, and it just seemed that he was quick on the gun, quick with the loud verbal commands, but he also had distance.
Getting the hell out of there is also an option too.
Taking 2 steps back. I mean, they sent her into the kitchen in the first place. If you didn't want her to have a pot of boiling water in her hand, why'd you send her in the kitchen? Why didn't your partner go in there and shut the stove off? And you know, that's hindsight's always 20/20 in these things. I personally would be like, even if she throws it, like, it would almost be better in my eyes if she threw it, because I know I can duck it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
or turn away. You get a lot of it will get on your outer vest, your outer carrier. A lot of it's not going to get on your skin because they're not that close.
Right.
The situation that I saw was face to face at a self run.
Yeah. And now she doesn't have it anymore. It's kind of like, you know, and now you don't have to shoot and kill her. But you know, I think a lot of people bring up you know, well, he could have just tased her. Taser has a very specific stance on using that electronic Thomas A. Swift's electronic rifle, which is what taser stands for, around water. And you know, I think it more applies to like the shower or a lake or something like that. But water's a conductor for electrical energy, just like you talked about with the Stinger. So when somebody's holding water, it can create really super bad injury, more than the force that you were intending to use. So
a taser's also like it's a lethal weapon. It's less lethal than the gun, but we can't just say, well, the taser's the clear solution, when we could also be looking at an alternate universe where a taser was used here and something else unfortunate happened. Go ahead.
I think just in my crazy mind, like I almost just think running towards her is probably, you know what I mean? Like
closing the distance, she can't do anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Just like knocking it out of her, like the quarterback sack. The guy's, he looks huge. He looks 6'4", 260. Maybe he's not, but I mean, he looks huge. He's built.
She might seize up. She might spill it all over the floor and herself. She might need EMS afterwards, but
sure. And you know, you can answer to that, but you haven't killed her. But it's his reaction after all of this happens that really kind of solidified probably what the grand jury thinks about this.
Fuck. I was on.
So he yells fuck because his body camera was not on. He reaches up to his chest and turns it on. His partner said, I was on. Just remember, it'll go back 30 seconds anyway. When he turns his on, it'll go back 30 seconds.
Won't have audio, but
no.
I'm going to go get my kit. She's done.
I'm going to go get my kit, which is probably the first thing anybody should do after any use of deadly force. Anytime a bullet leaves your gun, I'm going to go get my kit after you called for EMS. He says, nah, she's done.
You can go get it, but that's a headshot.
You can go get it, but that's a headshot. What are you talking about, dude? What do you? And then he makes the dumbest statement I've ever heard in my life. And then in the next one,
God damn it!
God, fuck.
Dude, I'm not taking fucking boiling water in the fucking head. And look, it fucking came right to our feet too. God damn it!
Fuck.
These are justifications. I mean, I get why you're saying it.
Well, you know, now they're waiting for backup and they're standing there and they're looking down and they're replaying the last the last 10 seconds, and they wish they could go back in time 30 seconds, and they just want to control Z this situation.
Yeah, definitely.
They've got to sit there and hold lethal force because it's what they're trained to do, and they don't know what else to do, and they're just and the one guy who didn't shoot's just like, well, I don't want to say anything on camera, but then there's this terrible silence that he's filling it with, just like, fuck, what the fuck just happened?
Wait till you see.
God damn it.
You good?
I'm good. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. What's you got? Let her fucking just. God, isn't that what you do, man?
Fuck.
Holster it up. Let her just fucking. There's nothing we can do. He caught himself. Let her just die out. Wrong.
Put pressure on it or something. Do render aid.
You good? All right. Fuck. Well, I mean, what else do we do? I'm not taking hot boiling water to the fucking face, and it already reached us.
Fuck. They got a 52 en route?
Yeah, 1078.
I'm sure that means do they have an ambulance en route? Yes, it's expediting.
Mm-hmm.
She's still breathing, but she's losing a lot of blood from the head.
He gets on the radio and said she's still breathing, but she's losing a lot of blood from the head as he's pacing back and forth.
I can tell that his MOS was not being a medic.
He was a mechanic.
Go. Hurry, get your med kit.
I mean, there's not much we can do.
We're gonna.
His optimism is like, dude, first of all, it's your job, but second of all, there's a fucking camera rolling. You better have a sense of urgency to begin with to save the life. But if you're going to be a dick about it, don't tell the whole world you're a dick about it.
I remember those guys in Sparks, Nevada. They were absolute pros and officer involved shooting. They just started working on them as a team. They looked like a team of paramedics. It was amazing to see.
Yeah, that one arrived like an angel with her, with her med kit in her hand.
Try and stop the blood.
So this guy fucking, he knows what's happening here. He knows what the right thing to do is. He's probably like, how did he get me into this? And now he's gone to go get his med kit. And then he's left to do the dirty work, most of which I cut out, by the way, because it's really graphic. I mean, they have it blurred out, but you can tell what it is in a sense. And then you hear her agonal breathing, and it's sad. It's just really sad to watch, but you'll see what he does. He grabs, there's a barber, like any normal kitchen, there's a barber chair in the kitchen, and then he grabs a rag off of maybe a dish rag or something off of the counter. So he held direct pressure on her wound. Her gurgling just continued. It was bad. I cut most of it out.
Where's he at? Come on.
Like, where's he at?
Could at least do the dishes or something.
Now, I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's like the water's running or what, but tell me that is not like every time he hears water running, he's going to think of it like for the rest of his life. This guy, not the guy that shot, that's out doing whatever he's doing with this chicken with his head cut off. The guy that's standing or kneeling down, putting direct pressure on this poor woman's wound, and has to endure all this.
She's still gasping a little bit. We got an EMS coming.
So that's a sergeant that walks in.
You want to hand me another rag up there? Up there to your right.
What's hand me another rag indicative of, John? It bled through the first rag.
She's still bleeding through. You don't take pressure off, so you just keep adding more on.
You're just going to keep
right there.
I ain't gonna waste my med stuff then.
So I don't know if you caught that or not.
I'm not going to waste something.
Yeah, I'm not going to waste my med stuff then. You'll see it better on his body cam.
Implying that the use of any resources would be a waste on your defendant at this point, or your plaintiff, I mean, is probably not a good idea.
Right. That would have been easily replaced that night. That, by the way, would have been easily replaced by EMS that showed up. Like, hey, can you give me about 40 gauze pads, but bandages or whatever, and some gloves? Yeah, yeah. Here.
You want to run down real quick? Nope, not yet. All right. House is clear. She was the only one.
Where's the gun?
No, she had boiling water and came at me with boiling water.
You shot her?
Yeah. She said she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came out with boiling water. That's what all this is. I'm standing right here.
All right.
That's where she's landed.
What do you need for a month?
Just nothing right now. Just hang out.
So again, the eerie silence of this guy.
You still want me holding this pressure?
Yeah.
Yes, Sarge, you still want me holding this pressure? I mean, let's get kind of comfortable over here. I didn't really do the shooting. I'm doing all the hard work here.
Well, but you can't have the guy that shot her doing that work either, because it looks like a conflict. So
she's still gasping.
Okay.
But you could see his tattoo. I'm not judging him for his tattoo, but it'll come into play in a minute too.
She's still gasping a little bit.
All right.
That's EMS. So what he does is I cut all of that out because there's a lot. He goes out to his car, the backup deputy that was just holding the direct pressure. Let's see how somebody reacts after a shooting that most of America thinks, the cops are high-fiving and hugging each other and happy about. Let's see what his reaction is. Goes into his trunk, goes into the Tupperware. Now he doesn't get in. He doesn't even get that far. He's visibly shaking. It's the same. You can hear his labored breathing. It's the same tattoo you just saw, and you can hear his labored breathing, and he opens the Tupperware.
He's not okay.
He's not. Now he takes out a towel first because he probably doesn't have blood all over his hands because he had those gloves on. I think the blood probably soaked through, but if not, the plasma from the blood soaked through. So he's probably got like this sticky, gooey kind of feeling in his hand. He's just wiping it off. Then he grabs some Lysol wipes. So again, this is how weird PTSD works. Like, will he remember the smell of these Lysol wipes for the rest of his life and remember this moment? I don't know, like, I'm not a psychologist, obviously. I just play one on TV, but I think that you can see what he's doing. Like, yeah, he's trying to get the stuff off of his hands. He was wearing gloves, but
the symbolism here is dense.
I think that he's just like, I wish I could just clean myself with this, like, out damn spot, Mm-hmm. Okay. The last couple seconds of his body cam, I want you to pay very close attention to. Listen to his breathing, look at his hands, and then listen to what he says as the guy approaches him.
Hands are shaking.
Yeah.
Everybody need anything?
I'm good.
Okay. You doing all right?
Yeah, I'm all right.
All right.
Thanks. So.
It's how we all respond, isn't it? It's how we all respond to that moment when someone comes and checks on us. Like the person can see, he probably has that 1,000-yard glare. The guy that said, "Hey, are you all right?" probably can't see that his hand is literally shaking. And then this guy is not well, but we all have that voice modulation down perfect, don't we? Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for checking. Yeah, I'm fine. And in some cases, you actually are holding it together until someone asks you, and you get that lump right here in your throat, and you hope that when it goes out through your lips that it sounds fine.
I got my mask on, basically, is what he's saying. I'm
Well,
fine. Yeah, man, I'm good. I'm a fucking look at my tattoos.
yeah.
I look like I'm not, but this is exactly, when they say break the stigma, John, this is exactly what I envision. When that guy walks up and says, "You good? You okay?" I am fucked up right now. I'm trying to fucking scrub my hands with a Lysol wipe to try to get this lady's blood off. But he can't say things like
he can't. No,
Yeah.
because his body cam's on. This is still evidence going to court.
Exactly.
He can't say like, "Oh my God, I'm fucked up beyond no repair," and then still be on scene. Like if he says like, I can't believe what I just saw. I am in terrible shape. By all rights, you should be loaded into the back of an ambulance, and we can't operate that way as police officers.
So in most agencies, you'll get 24 or 48 hours before they can even ask you any questions about this, because it used to be like, we're going to haul you down to our criminal investigations division, which implies you're a criminal, and we're going to read you your rights, then we're going to make you walk us through it. But you've just been through this. And so now a lot of places recognize the mental health strain that puts on somebody to have to do that. They did that with Chief Pete Arredondo in Uvalde, by the way. Within, I think, 12 hours of that shooting, they were grilling him. And it's going to have an effect. It's going to have an effect on what you remember and how you remember it, and it's going to have an effect on the rest of your life. So I'm just saying, they clear this guy. Let's give it a time. Like, let's just say by September 2024, they clear this guy to go back to work. He's seen psychologists. He's been through therapy. He's been through whatever. Do you think, though, that his now lizard brain is not going to protect himself from having to endure this trauma once again in a fight or flight situation? So when he walks up on a car and some young 16-year-old black kid, puts his cell phone out the window, what do you think his reaction is going to be? And it's not because the kid is black. It's because he's been through this. He's been through war. He's been through the shooting, and he didn't cause the shooting. He was just there. You know what I mean? So that's just my perch on mental health. He's basically telling himself, you have got to get yourself together and get back in the fight. But there's no need for him to do that. Now, here's body worn camera number 2. This is our buddy, Sean Grayson. Obviously, no audio. You see her in the kitchen. She ducks down. She ducks again. He walks towards her, and very clearly the water comes at them. So anybody who has doubt of whether she threw the water on them, here you go. There's even steam rising off of the ground, so you could tell that it was intense. It was definitely 212 degrees Fahrenheit, or thereabouts. So
I was on. I'm gonna go get my kit. No, headshot, dude. She's done. You can go get it, but that's a headshot. God damn it. God, fuck.
He's more, I think he's just like, you can't get into his head, and hopefully, I don't know, man. It just seems like he's mad. He's more mad that the thing happened than he is that he just killed somebody for throwing water on him. I recognize it's boiling water. I'm not minimizing that. But
his reaction is more like he just stepped in something, and I think metaphorically he did, but his reaction is a lot more like his boot is dirty rather than I just poured out a human life here in their own kitchen. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just a couple more points, John, and we're wrapping up.
Dude, I'm not taking fucking boiling water to the fucking head. And look, it fucking came right to our feet too. God damn it.
God damn it.
You good?
I'm good. You good?
Yeah, I'm good. Holstered up. Let her fucking just... There's nothing we can do, man.
Fuck.
You good? All right. Fuck. Well, I mean, what else do we do? I'm not taking hot boiling water to the fucking face, and it already reached us.
That's for the body cam.
They got a 52 in route?
Yeah, 1078. They're 18. She's still breathing, but she's losing a lot of blood from the head. I'll go get my med kit. I mean,
All right, I let this in so you could see what he does when he, quote, goes to get his med kit.
there's not much we can do. Fuck! Do we got any call history with her being 1096?
It's not a good time to ask that.
No, it's too late. The horses are out of the barn at this point. Why are you trying to fix the door?
Yeah, right. It's
because he's trying to make sure, like, oh shit, I'm gonna be all right, right? Like
exactly.
we knew it turns out she's crazy the whole time, so it's all fine, right?
Yeah, I just need to validate that she's a fucking nuts, right? And by the way, she's in there dying.
Yeah.
You're holding a med kit. Okay? Just keep that in perspective. I'm sure the grand jury did. Almost makes it to the door with the med kit. Drops it on the stoop. And what's he do?
I will explain the lock. Negative.
He goes back to get gloves.
She's in the kitchen. Sergeant, no. Let's just chill out here. Just Sarge right now.
Are you guys secure?
Yeah, we're secure.
Back covered?
No, it's just her in the house. She's 1096. So, is there anything you think we can do for her? No. Alright, I'm not even going to waste my med stuff then. You want to run down real quick?
Nope, not yet.
I mean, yeah, there's nothing we can do for her. She's not.
Family's not going to see your supplies as a waste.
And he's like, well, you want to run down? And the sergeant's like, nope, not yet. Like, she can still hear us probably.
House is cleared. She was the only one.
Where's he going?
No, she had a boiling water and came at me with boiling water.
You shot her?
Yeah. She said she was going to rebuke me in the name of Jesus and came out with boiling water. That's what all this is. I was standing right here.
All right.
And that's where he's landed.
What do you all need from us?
Just nothing right now. Just hang out there for me. Thank you.
John, I'm going to make a parallel here. Every once in a while, one of the most peaceful moments I have at this house here is that, and you'll see it hopefully. You look out in the backyard and there's like a little tiny pond back there, and there's like deer hanging out, like 6 or 7, and it reminds me of this.
I need cranes and put them around the house if you guys can.
It's just fucking deer standing around. You know what I'm saying? Like it's look, I get it. The call went out, like it sounded horrible. Everybody and their brother, and I'm just I'm venting as a shift commander probably. Everybody and their brother wants to be there. They're curious. They want to see what's going on inside. They want to make sure that everybody's safe. But now we're at a standing around stage. And
well, it's probably a bunch of people who are rigid with linear thinking who are ready to be given instruction. It's probably all the same people with the same psych profile.
And they are, and he does give them a few of them instructions. I know what I'd be telling him.
Other than that, that's I think it. Anything else suspect?
Okay, very important words right here that I'm probably just stepped over, but I want you to hear them again.
Was it ID of the suspect?
Cranes and put them around the house if you guys can.
But other than that, that's I think it. Anything else suspect? Me. Oh.
Any idea on the suspect? He says, me.
I didn't know what happened.
That's not
good.
good.
I'm good. This fucking bitch is crazy.
Yeah, I'm good. This fucking bitch is crazy. All right, you budding police leaders out there, give everybody something to do, especially in a scene like this. He for some reason produces the crime scene tape. The guy that shot her, he produces the crime scene tape. So he walks around with another deputy securing the scene. Have somebody else do that. You got fucking 8 people standing around doing nothing. And any of them would do it. You just got to kind of tell them. You got to keep them focused. Have somebody go do a neighborhood survey. Hey, what'd you see? Do you have any Ring doorbell cameras? And you're going to need all that information to see if there was actually a prowler out there. And, you know, there's like 5 or 10 tasks that other people could be doing. Hey, you do me a favor. You're going to marshal all the vehicles, make sure that there's a clear path for EMS to get in here and get out of here. If anybody's got their car on the road, you need to tell them to move it or get keys from them and move it for them. Just, you know, give everybody.
Someone needs to record access. I mean, give everyone, you know, you should be dealing with this enough that you know how to hand all these assignments out.
But, you know, on the other side of that, I looked into that county's, you know, it's relatively low crime. I think they had 2 or 3 homicides last year, or, you know what I mean? It's not a very violent area. It doesn't seem to be anyway. It seems like, you know, there's an increase in crime, but I think it's more property crime than anything else. And I could be wrong about that, but just everything I've read about their crime, you know, you can look at their year over year and month over month crime stats on the sheriff's office website, on the sheriff's specific page. You know, that's his report card. And by the way, I failed to mention this. It's an agency of 200 employees. So I'm going to go 75 to 80 of them are sworn.
Probably.
You know, so sad case, John.
It is sad. Do you guys in the audience think that we got it right with our commentary? We did have some points that were a little bit different, and I think we were a little bit more thorough than some of the other people who are commenting on the case on YouTube. If you do have a comment about whether or not we got it right or wrong, or if you have some other comment, go ahead and leave it in the comment section below. We generally do answer those things. We may even respond to you on the next episode of Comm Center. If you wanted to hit like and hit subscribe so you can keep up with the Comm Center, we'd appreciate it. If you want to become a member so that you can see more exclusive content on Sonya Massey and some other things, you can become a member of YouTube. We would certainly appreciate it. As always, Instagram, reach out to us. Let us know what we got right, what we got wrong, what you're upset about. Boil Drew's blood. You can make him unhappy for a full week. We would encourage you to do that. You can also see us on Twitter. We're there, even though we don't do much with it. Facebook, you can also find us as well. We have no voicemails this week, but leave us a voicemail about Sonya Massey. We would love to hear what you have to say. 848-COMM-911. That's 848-266-6911. If you have a comment about boiling water or a police officer's duty to retreat in the house, or why they were even in the house, or if they should have left earlier, if they should have left later, or frankly, if that guy just needed to be rebuked in the name of Jesus.
We all may come to the same conclusion. Just make sure you know why you came to that.
Watch the whole thing. Make an opinion for yourself, and don't be afraid to be different. Don't be afraid to disagree with the media, and don't be afraid to disagree with so-called experts as well. That's why we encourage you to disagree with us.